Good morning, Dover. It's not the morning, and you're probably watching this after 2 p.m., but we embrace tradition.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Brenda, and we're your hosts for the Dover Daily, the only reliable source for Dover-related news.
Quite literally, the only source. Love your enthusiasm, Brenda. Let's get into this Dover-related news.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Let's start off strong with Jolene's coverage on the Oscars from earlier this week.
Hi Dover, on the 25th of April this past weekend, the 93rd Annual Academy Awards or Oscar Awards were held. The Oscars are awards for artistic and technical merit in the film industry. Despite us being in a pandemic, there were many historical wins this year. Chloe Zhao was the first Chinese woman and the first person of color to be nominated for Best Director and Best Picture for her work on the film Nomadland. Zhao beat out Emerald Fennell, which made this the first time two women were nominated in the directing category. Nomadland was also the second film directed by a woman to be nominated for Best Picture. Here is part of Zhao's speech.
I've been thinking a lot lately of how I keep going when things get hard. And I think it goes back to something I learned when I was a kid. When I was growing up in China, my dad and I used to play this game. We would memorize classic Chinese poems and texts, and we would recite it together and try to finish each other's sentences. And there's one that I remember so dearly. It's called The Three Character Classics. And the first phrase goes, 人之初，性本善. People at birth are inherently good. And those 6 letters had such a great impact on me when I was a kid. And I still truly believe them today. Even though sometimes it might seem like the opposite is true, but I have always found goodness in the people I met everywhere I went in the world. So this is for anyone who has the faith and the courage to hold on to the goodness in themselves and to hold on to the goodness in each other, no matter how difficult it is to do that. And this is for you. You inspire me to keep going. Thank you. Thank you.
Tia Neal and Viola Davis became the first ever black winners in the makeup and hair category for their work on Ma Rainey's Black Bottoms. Minari's Yoo Jung-yoon became the first ever Korean woman and the second ever Asian woman to win Best Supporting Actress 63 years after the first. Here is part of her acceptance speech.
I'd like to thank I don't believe in competition. How can I win Glenn Close? Win over Glenn Close? I've been watching her so many performances. So this is just all the nominees, 5 nominees. We are the winner for the different movie, we play the different role. So we cannot compete each other. Tonight I'm here is just, I have just a little bit luck, I think. Maybe I'm luckier than you. And also maybe is American hospitality for the Korean actor. I'm not sure. But anyway, thank you so much.
Tyler Perry also was awarded the Oscars Humanitarian Award and gave an amazing speech.
And in this time, and with all of the internet and social media and algorithms and everything that wants us to think a certain way, the 24-hour news cycle, it is my hope that all of us would teach our kids, and not only to remember, just refuse hate. Don't hate anybody. I refuse to hate someone because they are Mexican or because they are black or white or LGBTQ. I refuse to hate someone because they are a police officer. I refuse to hate someone because they are Asian. I would hope that we would refuse hate. And I want to take this Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award and dedicate it to anyone who wants to stand in the middle. No matter what's around the wall, stand in the middle, because that's where healing happens. That's where conversation happens. That's where change happens. It happens in the middle. So anyone who wants to meet me in the middle, to refuse hate, to refuse blanket judgment, and to help lift someone's feet off the ground, this one is for you too. God bless you, and thank you, Academy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Which nomination or win surprised you the most?
Thanks, Jolene. How exciting! As we all know, I'm very...
It's your pop culture. We know.
It's not my fault you don't know the names of actors.
Fair enough, but at least I know the Dover senior athletes by name.
You actually don't, but Emily does. Emily, who is our very special senior athlete of the week?
It's time for the Senior Athlete Showcase. This week we are honoring Gabe Galida. Throughout his years, Gabe has played varsity soccer and varsity track. From this, his favorite memory he's made was when he was playing varsity soccer his freshman year with a great group of guys and Coach Esposito. Also, they went very far as a team. His favorite quote is, "Don't visualize beating the keeper, visualize destroying the keeper." After graduation, he plans to pursue a degree in sports training and therapy. Keep up the good work, Gabe. We are so proud of you and can't wait to see what the future has in store for you. Do you want to see yourself featured right here on the Dover Daily, the Dover Athletic Boosters Instagram and Facebook page? Well, if you answered yes, make sure to answer the questions of the sports you have played, your favorite quote, your plans after graduation, and your favorite memory to the email down below.
Thanks, Emily. I'm glad that the athletes are getting the recognition that they deserve.
Speaking of recognition, Grace is here with a reminder of the ongoing pet photo contest. Go ahead, Grace.
Now until May 14th, the Junior Honor Society will be hosting a pet photo contest. Here is Abby Schroeder and Krista Chestnut with all the details. I am here with the President and Vice President of the Junior Honor Society to talk about the pet photo contest. So, where is this money going towards?
It's going towards the ASPCA to help animals in need.
Alright, and how do you sign up for the contest?
Well, you submit a picture to either any of the officers, so me, Carissa Chestnut, Nellie Matura, or Daniel Diaz. You can, or even Mrs. Hardy, you can email the photo to us through our Dover Schools emails, and then give us $1 for when you were at school. You can give it to us like we're all in the same homeroom, and use our not like original room. So you can give us $1 for it, and then send us the photo, and we'll put it in, so that way eventually when it comes time for the voting, which will happen on Instagram, whichever photo gets the most likes will receive a $25 Amazon gift card.
Well, you actually answered my next question, like how do you win? So that's great. Any information you two want to add?
Submit your pets, I bet they're cute.
Be sure to submit your photos like this one for your chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card.
That reminds me, the weather is getting warmer, which means there are more chances to go out and have fun with our pets.
Brenda, you bring your pet rabbit outside?
It's for the cameras, Tim.
Okay, that doesn't... Anyways, dog owner to dog owner, Molly has some reminders of how to keep your animals safe in the heat.
Hey Dover, as you know, the warmer weather is approaching. Be mindful of leaving your dogs in hot cars. The rising number of dogs being left in the car is steadily increasing. In 2019, there was over 75 pets that suffered from heat stroke from being left in a car. It only takes 10 minutes for your dog to have a heat stroke. You would not want to be left in a hot car, so why should they?
Thanks, Molly. That's advice that I think everyone should be well aware of.
Speaking of awareness, Lizzie has information on the ongoing food drive. Take it away, Lizzie.
The National Junior Honor Society is hosting a food drive for the Center of Compassion from April 26th until June 11th. Donate non-perishable food items in the boxes by the middle school main office and the high school main office. Junior Honor Society members, for every 2 items donated, you will receive a point. Make sure to donate food to help support the community.
Thanks, Lizzie. And that's not all that there is to be aware of. As mentioned last week, there's been a big merge in the school, specifically with all students being present 4 days a week. Melanie took the time to speak with a student in a very special circumstance during this merge. Let's hear it.
During the past few weeks, we've had students come back to InPerson Learning. I was able to interview Miss Stephanie Marcos, a junior, and she spoke to me about her feelings towards coming back to school. So what are some differences from remote learning to in-person learning?
Obviously in person, you see people. So it's nice to finally see people after a whole year of not. I think that's the biggest difference, to be honest. Yeah, it's like the people, having friends.
Yeah,
You know, that's pretty cool, I guess.
And what do you prefer more, in person or remote?
In person, it's easier to learn.
Easier to learn,
For
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
And what are you excited for this year?
The year's basically gone. But I'm excited for the nicer weather.
Thank you, Melanie. It's hard to imagine how huge of a shift that must be. On the topic of senior updates, here's Miss Angelis with updates on the recent senior surveys we're expected to complete.
As of this date, so we're looking at, April 29th, right? The choice that has garnered the most votes was the choice of having it in the evening with the blow-up screens on the soccer field, with the graduates actually being live and being able to walk across. There's going to be a platform that we're going to use as a stage. So right now, that seems to be what we're going with. Unfortunately, according to the survey, there was not enough interest in a prom. So the prom might not be happening because we don't have the numbers to do it. We have about 20 kids who are interested in doing it on the football field. We had another 20 kids who were interested in going to, the Grandview. But in order for us to have a prom at the Grandview, we have to have a minimum of 100 attendees. So, 20 kids, it's just not going to cover the cost of 100 attendees. So I don't think that that's going to happen. We did have a lot of kids did not do the survey, so it's a little disappointing because we put all the information out there, but not everybody answered. We got about 58 kids answered, and there's at least another 50 kids who could have answered the survey. In terms of Great Adventure, that seems to be a go. Okay, so the seniors will be getting their information packets and their pinks and blues to be signed. The trip is scheduled for Friday, June 18th. That's going to be the senior trip. We're taking a JTR bus to the New Jersey Great Adventures, and that's going to be the senior trip for that day.
Thank you, Miss Angeles, and thank you, Haiti, for taking the time to speak to her. Speaking of speaking...
Really? Speaking of speaking?
This is why you should not put me in charge of the script.
Right. Anyways, it's time for Student in the Halls.
Hey guys, can I ask you a question? Sure. How has this year affected your view of high school?
I feel like we haven't really gotten to ease into high school because of the big change from middle school to high school.
Right. What about you?
But it's exciting because now I know that next year is just going to make that even more special. Be able to do all the things.
I'd agree with that. That's a great outlook.
Hey! Hey, so how has being back in school affected you?
It's allowed me to see my friends on a daily basis, especially 4 days a week. So I've actually all grateful too.
Yeah.
And the structure that it provides, a lot better. I'm happy that I can get my stuff done, in a timely manner because I can't do it on my own.
Sure. How has being back in school recently helped with mental health and grades?
I think being back in school has helped me to focus a lot more than when I'm online because I'm actually in the building. And for subjects like art, it's been a lot more.
Hey, so you're excited for graduation?
Actually, yes.
And what are your plans for after graduation?
I plan on going to Mercy College and majoring in exercise science.
That's awesome! Thank you! I'm Anna. And I'm Lily. And this was Student in the Halls. Oh my god, you guys didn't know! Oh, no, we're not answering questions. Addison Ray?
Quiet in the house!
Oh my god.
Thanks, guys. Lovely work as always, and what a great way to close out the show.
I think that's the first time that we've agreed on something.
That is definitely not true.
It's for the cameras, Tim.
Okay. Before we close, I'd like to introduce my new segment, which I hope we can do weekly. Suggestible.
Hi! Welcome to Suggestible. This is a new Dover Daily segment where I get to suggest a piece of media to you, our viewers, every week. This week, I am suggesting Pang by Caroline Polachek, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. Pang is supposed to resemble an emotional journey, and Pang itself is a small word that uses a lot of heartbreak. There are some amazing, really high-octane, electric pop songs on this album, like So Hot You're Hurting My Feelings, get a load of that title, and Door. Hope you give it a listen. Thanks so much, Dover.
Hope you beautiful viewers love it.
Have a great weekend,
Dover. Hope you beautiful viewers love it.
And that's
Have a great weekend, Dover.
Have a great weekend, Dover.
Oh no.
We
Just do that again.